Hi everyone, I'm going to do a quick little tutorial or a review on finding angles today. So a couple things that we need to remember. Again, this is a review. An angle that looks like this, right? And remember, I'm not using a straight edge. With a little square corner there is a right angle. And tell me right now how many degrees in a right angle? Yes, you said it right. 90 degrees. Okay, so that's a right angle. We also have an angle that is less than 90 degrees. So it might look something like this, or even smaller than that. Could it even look like this, right? This here is less than, than 90. And what is that called? You said it, an acute angle, okay? If we have an angle that is greater than 90, so something that looks like this, okay, could even be something that's really huge, like this, long. This is greater than 90 degrees, and that is an obtuse angle, okay? We also have an angle that resembles a straight line. And how is that? If we have a straight line here and we put our little vertex right in the middle there and we show our angle all the way, we actually show that angle. That angle measures at 180 degrees, and we call that a straight angle. That's important for us to know. Now, if you have an angle that is greater than 180 degrees, so something that might look like, let's say, if I had something that looked like, let's say this, okay, and my line or my angle measure starts here, so this is my vertex, and comes all the way around. This is clearly more than 80. So something, or 180, something that is greater than 180 degrees or a straight angle is called a reflex angle. So those are a few things that we need to remember about your angles. So if that's something that you need to review, go ahead and take a moment, pause your video, and see what you can see from here, okay? I'll put a picture of this also up for us. I want to show you a couple examples of what happens when we know part of our angle and we got to find the rest. So for instance, if we had something that looks like, let's say I have a line and my little vertex right here, and let's just make an angle that looks like this. I'm going to tell you that this is 40, and I'm going to say I want you to find this angle. So how would we figure that out? So if I'm looking at that a little bit closer, let me pull that up a little bit closer. How would I figure that out? Well, I know that based on my information here that this is a straight angle, and I know that a straight angle is 180 degrees. So I know, what I do know is that this angle all the way here is 180. So I know the whole thing is 180. So if I know the whole thing is 180 degrees, and I know that part of it is 40, I'm going to go ahead and take away that 40 degrees because I don't need it. I'm looking for what's left. So I'm looking for the difference here. I'm looking for what's left. If I take 180 and I subtract 40, if I do that correct, I'm going to end up with an angle that is 140 degrees, which tells me that this angle here, this question here, is 140 degrees. If I were going to add that together, 140 plus 40 is 180. So I know that this is an obtuse angle of 140 degrees. So that's one thing I can consider. Let's look at another one. What if we had something like, let's look at one that looks like this. Let's look at another 180 degree one. Let's look at one that's like, let's go with this. And then let's put my vertex here. And let's do something like this, okay? So I'm gonna tell you that this here is, I'm going to tell you, it's 115 degrees. And I'm going to tell you that I want you to figure out this. Now, I don't have a protractor. I'm just telling you the numbers here. So you have to base your math on numbers, not on what it looks like. Okay, always base your math on numbers. So I know that I have an obtuse angle here of 115. I know I need to figure out what this acute angle is. Again, just like before, I know that this entire angle here is 180 degrees. So what can I do? Take my 180 degrees, subtract my obtuse angle that I know is there, and that's going to give me what's left over. So if I do the math, 180 minus 115 is going to be 65 degrees. So my questionable angle here is 65 degrees. Okay, if I were to add 65 and 115, I'm going to end up with 180 degrees. Okay, let's do one more example here. What if I had an angle that looked like this? Let's see. Okay, so let me draw my straight angle here. All right, here's my vertex. I'm actually going to draw an angle that looks something like this. And I'm going to tell you that this here is 20 degrees. So let's pull this up a little bit here. This here is 20 degrees. And I want to know, are you ready for this one? I'm going to make this one a little bit more challenging. I want to know what this angle is in red. What is my red angle? So in this case, what I need to understand is, yes, I know that this whole angle is 180, but in this case, that doesn't really make a difference to me because I don't really care about this. I don't need to know this area. I want to know the whole angle. But what I do know is that right here, I have a right angle. And I do know that a right angle is 90 degrees. So if I know that this here, this small part here is 90, and I know that this is 20 because I was told that, what can I do to find out the red part of the angle? Take my red pen. I'm going to go ahead and take my 90 degree angle because I know that this is 90. It's a right angle. And I know that I had 20 here. I'm going to add those two together. I'm going to end up with 110 degrees. And if I look at my right angle here, 110 degrees is obtuse. It's clearly more. And so I know that my red angle here is 110 degrees. So here's a couple examples of ways that you can find different angles, okay? I'll take a picture of this, send it to you. You have any questions, you let me know. Have a good day.